So you successfully tormented your neighbor in front of a live studio audience, his house is wrecked, his sanity shattered, and the ratings are through the roof. Naturally, he needs a vacation. And naturally, you're going too. Neighbours from Hell 2 on Vacation takes the cartoon chaos of the first game and ships it off to the sunny beaches, cruise ships and tropical resorts, all in the name of more slapstick revenge. Released just a year after the original, the sequel didn't just expand the locations, it cranked up the absurdity, the creativity and somehow the cruelty too. Today we're packing our virtual bags and diving into Neighbours from Hell 2, the sun-soaked sequel that proved you don't need realism to have fun, just an endless supply of glue, coconuts and perfectly timed pranks. Before we hop on the cruise, if you missed the first video on Neighbours from Hell 1, definitely check it out after this one. We covered how it all started, the origins of Woody's revenge campaign and how a simple prank game became a classic. So if you want to see how we got from suburban sneakiness to beachside chaos, that video's right there waiting for you. And hey, while you are at it, hit subscribe. We got a whole lineup of classics coming your way. After the success of the first Neighbours from Hell in 2003, developer Jowood Productions and zuxxez Entertainment didn't waste any time. The formula worked, players loved the humor, the timing and especially the over-the-top reactions. So just a year later, in 2004, they released Neighbours from Hell 2 on Vacation. This wasn't just a reskin of the game, the sequel aimed to freshen everything up. Instead of one house, the game spanned multiple holiday destinations: beaches, ships, Wall of China and jungle resorts. And the storyline simple and brilliant. After being tormented on live TV, Mr. Rottweiler and his mother go on relaxing vacation, only for Woody, ever the prankster, to follow them around the world to keep the ratings alive, because apparently therapy wasn't an option. The development team used the same engine but added improvements to animations, lighting and background design. The environments were richer, livelier and filled with more interactive props than before. The episodic TV show framing was mostly dropped. Instead, On Vacation presented its pranks as a continuous world tour that gave artists a chance to design culturally themed levels, like Mexico, India and China, though with the early 2000s European exaggeration that hasn't aged perfectly. Still, technically and visually, this was jowood firing on all cylinders. It retained everything that made the first game fun while giving players new settings to explore. And once again, it became a sleeper hit, especially in Europe and Asia, where it was often bundled with budget PC collections. By 2005, both Neighbours from Hell titles were packaged together as Season 1 and 2, the definitive edition that many players remember today. If Neighbours from Hell 1 was the pilot season of sitcom, then On Vacation is the big budget sequel. Same characters, better locations, more toys to play with. The core gameplay remains unchanged. You play as Woody sneaking around environments, collecting items and using them to set traps that make Mr. Rottweiler's life miserable. But this time the game introduces open layouts and multi-part environments. Instead of a small house, each episode can feature up to 3 connected areas, like a beach, hotel lobby and jungle pod, linked by stairs, elevators or transitions. This adds depth and challenge. Mr. Rottweiler and his mother can move between those sections, forcing you to track 2 characters' routes instead of 1. And that's right, Mrs. Rottweiler joins the action as a secondary antagonist. And that is correct, she will also beat you up if she catches you, or just call her son to get the dog when the dog, runs away. She usually gets caught up in the traps set up by Woody for Mr. Rottweiler, and as the time goes, when she gets caught up in those traps, she beats the neighbor as she would beat you. In other words, it's Metal Gear Solid if Snake had to sneak past a mother-son duo on Vacation. And the item and trap variety skyrocketed. You could use sandcastles, coconuts, sunscreen and even sea urchins. And with that, the trap's reusability was also introduced, where you can use one item in multiple locations. The animation system saw also major upgrades. The exaggerated cartoon reactions were more fluid. Characters flail, scream and slip with perfect comedic timing. And the audience mechanic from the first game is toned down but still present. Pranks still trigger cheers and laughter, though the show framing is replaced by travel theme music and ambient effects. Each episode has an internal tour rating, which scores you based on how many pranks you pull, how creatively you chain them and how efficiently you stay undetected. There's also emphasis on environmental storytelling, where backgrounds and background animations also got updated and show more than just, a wall in the house. Some pranks even tie into the local culture, like tricking animals, sabotaging food and using natural hazard. It's still short and snappy, but far more intricate than the first game. Planning routes around 2 antagonists, juggling multiple tools and traps, and coordinating timing gave the sequel more replay value and complexity. There were also few minor but fun fun touches. For example, more expressive sound design, environmental hazards like for example hotel staff acting as extra obstacles to setting up traps, episode-specific objects, for example cruise ship lifeboats, all integrated into the puzzle design, and of course non-linear prank setup, multiple solutions to reach maximum score. It's basically a vacation simulator for people who find joy in pure chaos. Plot-wise, On Vacation continues right where the first left off. Mr. Rottweiler, desperate for peace, heads abroad, and Woody, sensing TV gold, follows. Each location is a new episode in the ongoing rivalry. There is no deep narrative, but the environmental storytelling does the job, escalating frustration, comedic misunderstandings, and of course slapstick revenge. When it released in 2004, critics generally liked the sequel, but felt it played it safe. GameSpot and IGN called it more of the same, but that's not necessarily bad, and the fans, on the other hand, loved it. The tropical setting, double antagonist system, and creative traps kept things fresh. In many regions, On Vacation actually outsold the original, particularly thanks to bundle deals. It also became a favorite among younger players for its humor and visual charm. I mean, hey, nothing teaches kids about empathy like chasing a man and his mom across international borders with a crab. However, critics pointed out the lack of innovation beyond the visuals and the scope. The game didn't evolve its mechanics much, and some called it an extended expansion rather than a true sequel. Still, for fans, that familiarity was exactly what they wanted. The humor landed, the gameplay loop stayed tight, and the absurd premise delivered. The Neighbours from Hell 1 and 2 Remastered Edition released in 2020 for PC, mobile and Switch, bundling both titles in HD. While reviews were modest, nostalgia carried it. Fans praised the preserved charm, smoother animations, and ease of play on modern systems. Today, On Vacation enjoys the same status as its predecessor. Together, the two games are remembered as perfect one-two punch of early 2000s creativity, short, silly, and endlessly replayable. Neighbours from Hell 2 didn't reinvent the formula, it refined it. It took the core of what made the first game funny and expanded the playground. It's the kind of sequel that doesn't try to be bigger for the sake of it, but smarter, funnier, and more confident in what it is. A mischievous cartoon comedy wrapped around a genuinely clever stealth puzzle design. And let's face it, if your neighbor followed you across continents just to prank you with glue and coconuts, at some point he's earned your respect. With all of that said, it's time to end the video, and thank you guys for watching, and see you guys next time.